Yeah! Hey!
Gary Bailey, have you been going batty for Yooka-Laylee?
Oh, I was waiting to see what you'd come up with.
Off the cuff, it was off the cuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, Yooka-Laylee, it's been in the works for 3 years now. It's the people behind Banjo-Kazooie. So I'm going retro, 3D platformer, my jam. I cannot wait for this. But I'm hearing mixed things from those who have played it. Gary, why don't you lay it on me?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I had sort of no expectations really going in. I went in quite looking to enjoy something, and I'll be honest, like the first couple of worlds, they're actually quite fun. The platforming's nice and smooth and everything, but there's no structure to it. You basically just go into a world and it's just side quests. You know, there's no like go here at least. You know, no sort of like at least funneling you a little bit. It's just here's a big sandbox, which
completely open.
Yeah, I mean it's not a bad idea, but I don't know. There's just no structure to it, and
it strikes me as like it sounds like if you'd go into the world, then you'd have loads of stuff to do, and you just rush off doing it all. But then eventually, after you've done some of the kind of obvious stuff, you're left kind of meandering, not really knowing where to go, and just walking around a lot, trying to find something new.
Because you just end up after a bit. Cause you've got to collect pages basically to unlock each world. You can collect them to expand each world as well. So you start off with like a smallish world, like a medium-sized world, and then you expand it. It gives you a bigger area to explore, more quests, that sort of thing. But after a bit, you do find yourself going, I don't know where these quests are. You know, some of them are bizarre, some of them you wouldn't even think. But yeah, you do get a bit bored, and sort of the third world onwards, it starts going very downhill.
And spinning its wheels.
Yeah, I mean the third world in particular is a bit of a crapshoot, to be honest. And then like the fourth world is very grindy. Obviously I don't want to say too much because it's not fair to people who don't want it spoiled. The fifth world it goes a bit back up the hill again. It starts to be a bit more fun, but again you still end up just wandering around and trying to find where to go.
Do you think it'd have been better if it kind of went a more linear path, how the games were in the past? There were collectathons, you had to veer off the path to collect stuff, but there was a path to walk along.
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, stuff like the Mario games are probably the best examples, because you've got your nice worlds that you can wander around for a bit if you want, but there is usually an objective in that world, and I think that's what this is missing. It's just missing that objective, that sort of that A to B. All the extra stuff is great, all the collectibles. Everyone loves collecting stuff.
It's a real collectathon, this, isn't it? There's loads. There's not just the pages, which are kind of like essential, but there's like feathers, I believe, from my time, if I remember correctly. There's musical notes, maybe something like that. I'm thinking off the top of my head from when I played it a few months ago, but there's so many, and they all do kind of different things. There's like money to get upgrades, and there's like different types of coins for other upgrades. Cause if I'm remembering correctly, there was a bit in like the settings where you could get different like screens, if you get me, like different graphic styles, kind of.
Yeah.
Like there was like a retro style and stuff like that, and black and white and different things like that. Yeah, I think even some of them when I played were kind of hidden from me. So there is so much in this game, but maybe they have just gone slightly overkill.
I mean, to be fair, the actual collectibles I don't think are the real issue. It's just it is more just the boredom that sets in. But the collectibles is a ridiculous number of things. I mean, like I say, you've got the pages, the main thing. You've got the quills, which are what let you buy new moves. And then you've got stuff like there's coins for Rexstro's arcade, so you go and play arcade games. There's 5 ghost writers in each level, which you've got to find as well.
That was quite. I remember when I saw that, I was like, that is so funny, because it is like a ghost who's a writer.
Yeah.
And it's kind of doing the pun on ghost. I think, at least from what I've played, there's so much charm in this. I remember the snake called Trouser, maybe, who's like salesman snake, fucking classic. Kartos, obviously hilarious. and there's loads of stuff like that, a lot of charm in there.
Yeah, it's got a lot of that, but I think one of its downsides is the fact that a lot of it is playing on the nostalgia, which is good, but I don't know about new players coming in, whether that it's just going to go over a lot of their heads, whether it's funny if you've not played some of these old games. I don't know.
I suppose that's irrelevant because it's for this. They made it for that audience. That is their target audience.
Oh, yeah.
I guess they don't care for new players. I mean, I think the point of it is like you make it for just deliberately for the old players, and then the new players when they come in are gonna either not like it because it is old, because it is retro, or they are gonna like it and maybe then they'll go back to some of those old games.
Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, maybe I judge it a bit going off some of the old stuff as well. But it is. I just wonder how well it'll do.
I'm intrigued. I mean, it's the only game I've ever backed. I am looking forward to playing it and getting into it. The brief time I've had of it so far it's just been so joyful. I think the colours and the characters and the charm, it's just all just fun. There's nothing kind of sharp or hurtful about it. It's just nice, fun. Now, I don't know if I'll get to the stage that everyone else I know who's played it will get to with this boredom. That's that kind of stagnation. But how does it actually play then? The platforming, how's all the different moves you can do? I hear there's boss fights. How do they work? How does it actually play away from the structure?
Yeah, the
issues.
Boss fights are good. They're quite varied. You don't find them easily. Some of them you can find quite easily. You'll just stumble upon them as you fight. Others are a little bit hidden away. But the actual gameplay it's just proper platforming. It's literally just running around, jumping. You've got your standard spin attacks. You can then unlock various moves to like jump higher. You can turn invisible, which also has extra perks as well. There's your rolling ability, which I think is the first one you get. Later on you can then upgrade that to have like a sonic spin dash. There's every move has its use as well. A lot of it is then going back to old worlds, so it's a bit like a Metroidvania in some respects, because you go back to these older worlds and there's something that you could never reach before, now you can. It also helps with stuff like the Ghost Riders as well. It's like some of them very difficult to catch, but certain moves will help you. And it just, as an actual platform, I think it's great fun. There's a lot of potential there. I just needed structure, I think. I keep going back to that word, I really do. But,
no, it makes sense, and I can imagine it's going to be a type of thing where everyone who plays it will kind of recognise this issue. It'll just depend on how much you can, how much it bothers you, on where people will like, how much the people will like this game, I guess. Yeah. It's a weird one. I think it's very interesting. I am looking forward to playing it, because I do think it's it might be a divisive one, but I guess one special mention before we go off, the soundtrack. It's by the classic, rare guys, Grant Kirkhope and Steve Burke and David Wise. Is it as good as what I've seen?
It is.
So far, or heard, I should say.
Yeah, it's got some quite catchy tunes. I mean, I did find myself sort of humming them again, like a couple of hours later. I did quite like a lot of the sound design actually was quite good, except for the bloody sound when people speak. It's like it's like Animal Crossing, but just like digs into your brain. It's horrible. but yeah, the actual music, it's great. It's really nice music.
Good to hear. And if you want to read Gary's thoughts on Yooka-Laylee, you can do so by going to godisageek.com, where we have loads of reviews, previews, interviews, guides, features, everything you could possibly ever want. And of course, you're already here on youtube.com/godisageek. So why don't you stay here, press that bloody subscribe button, and get just a flood of videos that are constantly coming your way. Elsewhere, you can follow me on Twitter @Mabroski. Gary, where can they get you?
At BlueFury47.
And you can get us all on Twitter @GodIsAGeek. Thanks for listening.